Welcome to Lighten Up, the Art of Living Clutter-Free, a podcast for people who are ready to clear the physical, the mental, and the emotional clutter that's been weighing them down. I'm Melanie Cohen, your host, coach, and guide. Each week, we talk about the clutter you can see and the clutter you can't. The stuff in your home, the noise in your head, the expectations, habits, and unmade decisions that quietly drain your energy. This isn't about perfection or minimalism. It's about creating space for what actually matters in this season of your life. Let's lighten up together, starting now. Welcome back to another episode of Lighten Up, the Art of Living Clutter-Free, the place where we talk about all things clutter. Today, I have a special guest with me. I have Nancy Linnerooth. I'm just going to start with the bio and then we're going to dive in. Nancy releases subconscious blocks holding women entrepreneurs and other leaders back from the next level of money, visibility, and ease. She draws on 9 years as a Harvard Law School trained attorney, 17 years as a therapist, and over 18 years as a practitioner of emotional freedom techniques or tapping. Nancy is the creator of the MVP Activator, the co-author of Your First Year, What I Wish I'd Known, Lessons from Women Entrepreneurs for Women Entrepreneurs, and a featured expert in the best-selling The Science of Getting Rich for Women, all of which impresses her teenage daughter not one bit. Nancy, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me here, Melanie.
I love that reference to your daughter. And I do believe there is going to be a time where she's going to come back when her brain is a little clutter-free and be able to say, hey, Mom, I'm kind of impressed by what you've done. I promise that's coming. I love it. I love it. So Nancy, I asked you to be here today for a host of reasons. And one is because I have tapped with you and I have tapped with your recordings on many occasions as well. And I find it very helpful for me in shifting a lot of the way I think. But before we dive into that, I'd love a little history, how you ended up where you ended up. What was the process?
Well, clearly, it was a bit of a winding path for me. I mean, I did start out going straight to law school and then become a lawyer for 9 years, and that just didn't take. It didn't feel right. I was always looking for what was the right fit for me. So I went back to school and became a therapist, and that was better, but it still was never quite fully what I felt like I was meant to do. There was a lot of helping people manage symptoms of depression and anxiety, and that's important. It just didn't feel like my path because I felt like I was here to heal people. So what I did is I started this little coaching practice on the side, and what quickly came up was people had these goals and they really wanted to go after them, and they would mess it up. They would procrastinate, they'd avoid, they'd sabotage themselves. And I got really curious about what was going on there. So I brought in this tapping, this EFT that I'd learned in the therapy world, in to use with my coaching clients. And we uncovered their subconscious rules and fears and beliefs. And using the tapping, we were able to release them and help them actually go after and meet their goals and create the lives they wanted. And I knew a little bit about this because at the same time, I was doing the same thing on myself because I had so many blocks in my subconscious, blocks to making money, blocks to being seen and being more successful and having to work too hard, all of these things. And as I used the EFT, the tapping, to release my own blocks, my little coaching practice grew. Before I started tapping on myself, it just sat there. But with the releasing of my subconscious stuff, my practice grew. And that's why I was able to bring it to my clients too. So that's sort of the short, long version of how I ended up doing what I'm doing.
So maybe you can help listeners understand better. But what does EFT tapping really mean? What are we tapping on and tapping into?
Well, EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. And usually people talk about a tapping because you're tapping on acupressure points. These are points that in Chinese medicine have been around for 4,000 years, but we have more recently, like in the last decades or so, brought them in to use for other things other than just health issues. And you'll find different tapping practitioners using it on different things. There's tapping for pain, there's tapping for weight loss, there's tapping for, I don't know, all the things. There's sports psychology, you'll see it a lot in sports. When you're tapping, what you're doing is you're manipulating these acupressure points. And Western medicine now shows us that that is actually in effect, it's sending a message to the mid part of your brain, the amygdala, to chill. It's okay. We're safe. And so it can interrupt some of the other things that are happening in our brain. I don't want to get too technical, but if you want to get technical, it downregulates your amygdala. It lowers cortisol levels, cortisol being the stress hormone. It does all these great things. But then you can apply it to different things. So that's where I bring it in and I apply it to uncovering and releasing the subconscious gunk that gets in our way of the lives we truly want to have.
I love you say gunk, I say clutter. Someone else would say mess. It's so funny because I've been tapping for a while and you just referenced using it in sports. I talk on the show a lot about having been a gymnast growing up, and we had someone come in and do like visualization exercises with us on more than one occasion. And I remember hating it. They dimmed the lights, we're laying on the floor, and we're supposed to like go in our brains. And all we wanted to do was tumble and swing on the bars and stuff like that. But one of the things that I discovered was I had a really hard time visualizing me doing it perfectly. Like in my head, I was falling on the beam all the time. My grandmother used to call it the greased beam event. I don't, it was like as soon as I was on, I was off again. And all I kept thinking was, if I can't do it right in my head, how can I do it right in real life or in life? And now I wonder, maybe I would have been better off with EFT because it would have allowed me to address the falling and the not doing it perfectly. So I feel like you set me up on that one. But I have you here, and you specifically work with women entrepreneurs who have blocks when it comes to finances or money mindset and all of those kind of things, which is really one of the ways that I was attracted to you. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Sure. I love to work with women business owners for, well, many reasons, but a couple stand out. One is they know that if they don't take care of what's going on inside of them, nothing's going to change in their business. They can do all the strategy in the world, but they got to work on their inner game to make the external work. So that they're willing to do the work, even if it looks as silly as hitting yourself with tapping. And the other thing is women seem to have more blocks than men when it comes to succeeding. So I work with women definitely on money is a big one, but also on being seen, showing up on social media, doing videos, speaking from stage and being seen as an expert. And also for everything else that can get in the way of business. And so these women will actually work with me to figure out what is going on inside of them that's getting in the way. Because you can make all the funnels you want, but if you are seeing yourself as failing, as falling on the balance beam, that's going to keep happening to you because that's what your brain sets you up to do. Yes, I wish I'd been able to tap with you back then, but I don't even know if we had tapping back then.
And if we had, there's no guarantees that I would have taken it seriously, percent. Okay. And we're not going to go back 40 years right now. But it's interesting because I think when I was first introduced to this, I was like, I don't have any blocks. I'm just not making money. Like in my head, it's like, it hasn't found me yet, or the clients haven't found me yet, or they don't see the value in what I have to offer. And it was all about what was happening outside of me as opposed to addressing what was inside of me. I had no idea how many money blocks I had. And now I feel like there are more money blocks than aren't, but I'm addressing them,
Yes.
and I'm quieting them down. So,
Well,
yeah.
good on you, Melanie, because I work with some seven-figure owners of seven-figure businesses, and for them, it's a non-negotiable. They will always be working on their blocks, particularly money blocks, but others as well. And so if they want to go to the next level in their business, they're like, okay, I got to change what's going on inside of me. So you're actually realizing that you've got the blocks and starting to work on them and releasing them means you're on the upward spiral.
Oh, I like hearing that. And I think you also address something that I know a lot of people probably think, because I know I did, and that is that all successful people were just successful. She's making seven figures because she was always meant to make seven figures, or she has the best product, or she has the best approach, or she has the best personality, or she has the best contacts, as opposed to even those that look incredibly high level to us still have blocks that they have to work through.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't hurt to have all those wonderful qualities and products and such. But if that's all you have, along with a bunch of blocks, it's not going to go anywhere. You won't bring yourself to do what you need to do, or you'll do it with the wrong kind of energy. And people can feel that and they'll be repelled. And if you're into law of attraction, you'll just reject it energetically and it won't come in. So, however you want to look at it, if you don't change what's going on inside, nothing on the outside will change. But as you start changing on the inside, the outside starts to change too. And so you can always be getting better and more if you want to. But some people work with me and they're like, okay, this is the level I want to be at. Great. So we get them to that level and they're done. Other people are like, ooh, give me more. So you get to do you, whatever fits for you.
Do you have people come back to you like they had it all figured out and things were going great?
Yeah,
What
that's
happens?
what happened. Well, and usually it's not for the very same thing that we worked on before. Sometimes it's related, but sometimes it's something else. It's like, "Well, do you think you could help me with this other thing now?" It's like, "Yeah."
Okay, so we had discussed actually doing a tapping exercise so people can see and hear what that looks like. And so, for those of you who are listening, this would be a great example of an episode that would be really cool to watch, not just listen to, although that's not necessary. Nancy asked for permission, which I give up so willingly. I am an open book. There's nothing to hide in my life, and if you haven't heard everything yet, it will come in time. But I'm saying that because I want people to know that this is something that has made me cry before. This is something that has, gone deep, dark, and then opened up so much. So, and anyone can follow along with us, right?
Sure. Melanie, I'm happy to do just some sort of generic tapping on help me pick a common money block to work on and we'll just tap around that. But if you wanted to do something specific to you, I'd be open to doing that here too. It's up to you. What do you think would be best for your audience?
That is a super good question. Why don't we do something that's like kind of specific, kind of not specific?
Well, so something that you'll resonate with. Okay, well, let's find one. I've got a bunch to pull out of my back pocket, but why don't you finish the sentences with whatever comes to mind? So, money is
Money is something I want.
okay. I can't have money because
I haven't had it in the past.
if I have money, if I have more money, the bad thing that will happen will be
Everyone else will expect me to take care of them.
okay. That one could do it. Is this jogging you to think of anything that you'd want to work on?
Well, whether they watch or not, or listen or not, I'm going to say my parents.
Okay, we'll try this one. If I have more money, I'll be disloyal to mom.
No.
Okay. If I have more money, I'll be disloyal to dad.
Oh, wait a minute. If having money were to make me disloyal to a parent, it would be my mother, not my father.
Okay. So maybe something there, but that's not the one. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to spend our whole time looking for something. Okay. How about say this out loud and see how powerful it is. If I have more money, I'll have to take care of everyone else.
If I had more money, I'll have to take care of everyone else. No, that doesn't work because I want to take care of other people. There are just some people I want to take care of more than others. Can I dig something up as we're
Please.
talking? Yeah. I think the lack of success in the generations before me is something that's sticking with me more. My father, the businesses have always been just a minute away from making $1 million. I'm almost there, Mel. I'm almost there. I do hope he
Mm.
listens to this episode. And so it's always, almost going to happen. And I'm 55 years old. I've been hearing this for over 40 years.
Yeah. Okay. Try this one and see how powerful it feels. People in my family can't make more money.
People in my family can't make more money.
If that was 0 to 100%, how powerful would that feel?
92.
92. I think that one we can work on. And
I
I
think
think,
so.
and I would encourage everyone who's listening to tap along with this, even if it doesn't feel like this is your issue. Go ahead and tap on it because it will probably trigger some stuff in your own subconscious about, well, why can't I have the money? And with the tapping, if you're tapping along with us, you're going to be doing something called borrowing benefits and releasing your own subconscious blocks. So okay. You're going to be tapping along with us, and I will cue you in, at least for the first round, on the points that you're going to be tapping on. And then just keep tapping on those points, going round and round. You're tapping about as hard as if you were drumming your fingertips on the top of a table, right? So you're not sort of whiffing it, but you're also not going to leave a bruise. It's not going to hurt you to do this, but you're going to feel it, okay? And you'll take a couple fingers from one hand. I use my index finger and my middle finger from my right hand because I'm right-handed. And then you're going to tap where I tell you to tap. So if everybody, let's start tapping on the side of your other hand between your little finger and your wrist. There's that fleshy part on the side of your hand. Okay, so tap in there. Melanie, repeat after me, would you?
I will.
Even though some part of me believes
Even though some part of me believes
people in my family can't make more money,
people in my family can't make more money,
I know that part of me is trying to do what's right.
I know that part of me is trying to do what's right.
So I deeply and completely accept that part.
So I deeply and completely accept that part.
So even though people in my family can't make more money,
So even though people in my family can't make more money,
I'm willing to look at that.
I'm willing to look at that.
Keep it if it serves me, but let it go if it doesn't.
I keep it if it serves me and let it go if it doesn't.
So even though I've got this old rule,
So even though I have this old rule,
people in my family can't make more money,
people in my family can't make more money,
I'm a good person with that rule.
I'm a good person with that rule.
And I will be a good person when I've let it go.
And I will be a good person when I've let it go.
Okay, now tap right where one of your eyebrows starts above your nose. Let's just say people in my family can't make more money.
People in my family can't make more money.
Now, the side of your eye on that rigid bone. I believe that people in my family can't make more money for a long time.
I believe that people in my family can't make a lot of money for a long time.
Go about an inch below your pupil on your cheek there. It's important that I believe this.
It's important that I believe this.
Between your nose and your lip. Look at all the generations that haven't made money.
Look at all the generations that haven't made more money.
Now, on that line under your lips, look at what Dad's been saying for so long.
Look at what Dad's been saying for so long.
Now, make a fist, and with the flat part of your knuckle, go where a man would knot his tie. Yeah, people in my family can't make more money.
Yeah, people in my family can't make more money.
Take all four fingers, go about 4 inches down from your armpit on your side there. That's what I believe.
That's what I believe.
People in my family can't make more money.
People in my family can't make more money.
Now, all 5 fingers at the very top of your head. People in my family can't make more money.
People in my family can't make more money.
Okay, now we're going to keep going and just keep tapping around the points at whatever speed feels right for you if you're listening to this, or if you're watching, just tap along with us, okay? So we'll just keep going with the eyebrow point. People in my family can't make more money because,
People in my family can't make more money because
what comes to mind, Melanie?
they haven't in the past. History repeats itself or
Yeah.
doesn't repeat itself.
Side of your eye. And I'm just like all of them,
And I'm just like all of them.
so I can't possibly make more money.
I can't possibly make more money.
And that's just ridiculous because,
And that's just ridiculous because it's not true.
and I know it's not true because,
And I know it's not true because history doesn't have to repeat itself.
yeah, I'm different from my parents and my grandparents.
I'm different than my parents and my grandparents.
I've made big changes in my life.
I've made big changes in my life.
So, Melanie, tell me 1 or 2 ways that you have been lived differently from your parents.
I have I have been on my own since I was 19, 20.
Wow, that's different. If you were going to repeat exactly the way they lived, you wouldn't have done that.
No.
How else
No.
are you different now? And you're living differently from how they were and how they've lived.
I'm more responsible with money.
Okay. So I've already proved I can be different with money from my parents.
I've already proved that I can be different with money than my parents.
So people in my family are not all the same.
So people in my family are not all the same.
That means people in my family can make more money.
Means people in my family can make more money.
No, people in my family can't make more money.
No, people in my family can't make more money.
I need to believe that now because
I need to believe that now because it's my time.
you need to believe that people in your family cannot make more money because it's your time.
I'm sorry that I can make more money. I don't know about them.
Okay. All right. Let's make sure there's nothing negative still holding on there.
I hear you. No, I hear you. I hear you.
Okay. So people don't like to stay on the negative, but that's where we clear out most of the gunk. So
Right.
I need to hold on to this old belief
I need to hold on to this old belief
that people in my family can't make more money.
that people in my family can't make more money because it means that it's okay if I don't succeed.
It's my built-in excuse.
It's my built in excuse.
If people in my family can't make more money,
If people in my family can't make more money,
it's not my fault.
it's not my fault.
It's not my fault if I don't make more money.
It's not my fault if I don't make more money.
Well, let's be honest here, Melanie. It is not your fault if you don't make more money. It's in If it's in your subconscious, it's just things you've picked up along the way. And you aren't necessarily even aware of them. So we're still tapping here because I want this to really sink in, right?
Sure.
And it makes sense that up till now, some of these old rules have been holding you back. However, do you want to keep it going this way?
No,
Oh, I actually do want to make more money.
I actually do want to make more money.
And now that I'm clearing away some of this gunk in my subconscious,
Now that I'm getting rid of some of this gunk and clutter in my subconscious,
all this old money clutter,
all this old money clutter
that means that I can make more money.
means that I can make more money.
So I could choose to keep my excuse,
I could choose to keep my excuse,
or I could let it go and make more money.
or I can let it go and make more money.
Because of course people in my family can make more money.
Of course, people in my family can make more money.
I know that's true.
I know that's true.
And I'm ready to release this old rule
And I'm ready to release this old rule
and make some more money.
and make some more money.
Okay. All right. Deep breath in and out again. All right. So we were trying out a few things there, seeing what came up, what didn't. I want to know what's left now. So go ahead and say, people in my family can't make more money.
People in my family can't make more money.
0 to 100%. How powerful did it feel that time?
Like 62.
62. Okay. We went from 92 to 62. I mean, we could do some more on that. We could do a different one. But as you release these things, it could be that you still have a block there, but it'll be easier to make more money. You know, if you release the whole block, then it can be very easy. But if you release some of it, it can become somewhat easier. Might be some related blocks. Like I say, with clients that I work with, there's roughly a metric ton of money blocks that are available for us all. And we've got so many of them. But as we release them one by one, it becomes easier and easier and easier to see that money come in, to hold on to it and not let it like slide through our fall out of our pockets and all. It becomes less of an issue and we can focus on other things in our lives.
Sure. Sure. So that's so powerful. And it's always so powerful for me. And I think it does usually boil back down to I've seen my father try over and over and over again to get a business going and with a certain level of lack of success. And so yeah, I think that's the one that comes up most frequently. And I've talked about this on the show before, but while I was in college, my parent and my father went to rehab like umpteen times. When he finally got clean, my parents had lost their home and his business and his car, and they never got back together. And I had been estranged from them during this period of time. And I was asked to leave school. And because my parents had no phone and had no money, the school couldn't reach them. And so the school called me into the bursar's office and forced me to sign a promissory note in the amount of $19,000, which in 1990 was more like $45,000. And that was on top of like some of the student loans that I had. And so I think I also have this history of it being taken away. And there not being enough money, like, I mean, by the grace of the people in my life My girlfriends took me in and I had a place to live. My first job was as a nanny, and I found myself in home live-in situations, which meant I at least had a roof over my head and some food on the plate, but there was a lot of fear
Hmm.
involved. And
Yes.
also the loss of my home. Like there was no place to go home to. And I'm working through that, but I think that's another thing that comes up is I could have the money, but it could also get taken away from me.
So there you
So
go. There might be
I
something like,
Yeah,
if I get more money, it will just be taken away. And you'd want to
right,
release that.
right,
If we were working
right,
together, we would probably work on some of the stuff about your father saying, I'm this close, about losing your home, about the bursar's office. Hey, money isn't safe. Look at that.
right,
Or something around, I have to be in debt. I mean, there's so many that could be there. And you want to release them each as you
for
find them.
sure.
Now, some of the ones I just mentioned, maybe didn't really go deep into your subconscious. So they're not something to work on, but there'd be a lot of possible threads to pull to unravel that sweater.
So when someone comes to work with you on this, what does it typically look like in terms of how long a session is, how many times they work with you before they've really truly broken through some of those blocks? What does that look like?
Well, I have different ways to work with me because some people need more time, some people need less. Some people want to go really deep dive fast. Some people are like, okay, let's just spread it out because it's too painful to do that. And so I have different ways to work with me. I primarily will have 1 hour sessions because I think that that's a pretty good amount for most people. Although I do have 2 half days where it's like 4 hours, let's go deep. And then a week later, we do it again. But that's only for some people. And it depends on the person, and the issue. So I've got my mastery program. That's all the bells and whistles. I put in some hypnosis in there to put in positive messages into the subconscious. We have 12 sessions and some little short sessions, 3 laser sessions too. That's for somebody who's got multiple issues and they want to be able to bounce around and work on them all. Or they've got something that goes way back to childhood, like 7, 8 years old, and so they have many, many layers that it just takes some time to peel them off. I also have a boot camp, which is really it's 5 sessions. And we're going to go fast. And this is for somebody who doesn't have, going all the way back to childhood, so they don't have all those layers. Or sometimes they have worked on an issue in all sorts of different ways already. So that when we are tapping, I might have thought, well, this is going to take us a long time, but it's gone within a few sessions simply because they've already done all this work. It's like the tapping is that last turn of the key and the tumblers in the lock lineup then. So it really, sorry, it wasn't the clearest of answers, but it depends is the short answer there.
I mean, and I think if you said that there was just one answer, we'd probably be like, really? It depends should I think be the answer to most questions, and then qualify or quantify what it depends really means in the situation. So when we were talking earlier, you said EFT, excuse me, can be used, for so many different kinds of blocks. And your specialty is working with female entrepreneurs who can be making more money. Why not something else? How did it land on that? What if someone came to you and said, I want to do this and I want to lose weight, or I want to declutter my home, or some other life goal?
I have done many other things. I actually, a couple people have come to me to do some decluttering, and we have worked to release the blocks to letting go of things. But what I found was, well, I mean, it comes down to that old saying, we teach what we need to learn, right? This is my own stuff. And as I have released it, I'm a step or two ahead of the people behind me, and I want to help them too. I got to experiment on myself first, so I didn't hurt anybody on the way. Actually, tapping is very, very forgiving, and it'd be very hard to hurt someone with tapping, let's just say. But I felt like I didn't have to waste anybody's time because I'd already
Mm.
wasted my own time trying to figure things out, and then I could just pull people through faster. So that's really where it came down for me. Plus, I have wanted for many years now as I said, I wanted to be a healer. I thought therapy was the way to do it. It really wasn't. For me, I've seen so much healing in these women who they started their business for all the right reasons. So often they've got a passion. They want to help others. They want to fix the world, and they're not able to do all that they know they could do. And it's so painful. And then when we release the blocks, they're like, I can do this now. I'm out there. I'm reaching all these people. I'm healing these people. I'm making good money. I'm taking care of my family. All of those good things happen. As I say, everyone has blocks, but there's something about women business owners. I want to help them so that they can go out and change the world in a way that I think we need the world changed.
I love that. I love that so much, especially given my podcast. I have a lot of different kinds of people listening, but at the end of the day, the person that I work with is a woman who's in the messy middle of life and everything. And so that is very meaningful to me. Okay, so this is the podcast about clutter, and we
Yes.
talk about all different forms of clutter. And Nancy, I warned you that every expert comes with some kind of clutter in their life. What's the clutter in your life?
Well, if I'm not talking about the physical clutter, there's some of that.
You could talk about both or either.
I feel like my clutter is what we've been talking about all along. I picked up a lot of these old beliefs and rules growing up in my family, in the middle of the country, in the middle of my community. And there were all sorts of rules around not having more money. Money is bad. You can't be a good fill in the blank, good person if you've got money. And rich people are greedy, all those things. And I've been dragging around this trunk full of them for so long. And now I will even now be opening up the truck and say, oh, look at that. I'm supposed to suffer. I didn't know that. Let's get rid of that one. I've got clutter that goes way deep and I've been clearing it away. And it's interesting how, but that obvious stuff is gone, but there's still some more stuff in there for me to clear out. So I don't know if I'm going through you remember the Scandinavian design back in was it the 80s or something that was like, nothing. Everything is very clean lines, no clutter. What?
Blonde wood and white formica.
I don't think I'll ever get there, but I think that I will get rid of some of my Victorian excess, let's say. Not quite so many framed photos of blocks in my subconscious. I'm just working towards that.
Somewhere between modernism and Victorian, I think is probably a really beautiful design aesthetic. I really appreciate what you were saying because I think, I try not to get political, but I think most people know where I stand. It's hard to not see the uber wealthy as not greedy people when for so many of us, we don't see them sharing, in ways that would benefit the community as a whole. And so one of the things that I always like to say is that that is not the rich person that I'm going to be. I'm going to be the one that gives back. And I could rattle off a list of places where I think my money is needed. And when I have that money, I may sing a different tune. But I can see why people get stuck in that block of, rich people are greedy and all the things.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, our subconscious says, oh, rich people are that, so you can't have an extra $10,000 because then you'll be rich. It's like, no, subconscious,
Right.
it's not logical, it's not rational, it doesn't know these things. Plus, think about all the uber wealthy people who actually have done amazing things. I'm thinking
100%.
Oprah. Oprah has done amazing things. Oprah's also, stumbled along the way, but she has done amazing things. So
Right.
it's interesting that our subconscious holds on to a younger version of our understanding until we change it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate everything you're saying. And I think, immediately of people like Melinda and Bill Gates, both, they still have, even after giving so much, they still have so much. And that doesn't make them, bad people. And I can see how that is a framework that'll becomes a block for so many people. So before we finish up today, what's the thing that you don't want someone to have missed out on in this episode?
Well, the bottom line is if you're having any issues around money at all, first of all, it's not your fault. You're not a bad person or a lazy or any of those things. It's just that there is something that you've internalized along the way that's getting in the way of what you really want. So, first of all, you're not a bad person. Second of all, you can change it. And for me, changing it comes with tapping, but there are other ways as well. Keep going until you've changed it so that you really can live to that life that you want to have.
I love that so much. Nancy, thank you so much for being here and sharing your genius.
Thank you, Melanie. Can I give a gift?
Yes, of course you can give a gift.
I like to give a gift when I can get to speak to new groups. So what I have for your listeners, if they want it, is a procrastination breakthrough kit. So that is all those tapping points that I was talking about. There's a video that shows you how to do them, and then it shows you how to release stress. Because one of the things that'll keep you from taking action is if you're really stressed. That's one video. Then there's another video that goes straight to procrastinating. I don't want to do this thing and you can tap along with it anytime you're avoiding taking some action. You're procrastinating by being really busy with something else or anything. So that procrastination breakthrough kit is available at unblockresults.com/clutter. So people can go there, sign up, get it. And they'll also get my newsletter that has tap along videos all along the way. You mentioned them before. So all sorts of different kinds of tap along videos. So I would love for your people to be able to stop procrastinating and start decluttering.
I love that, Nancy. First of all, that's so generous. Thank you. And all of that information is going to be in the show notes, and people take advantage of it. I promise you, you're going to get something really incredible out of it. So, Nancy, thank you again for being here today. I so appreciate you.
Thank you, Melanie. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to Lighten Up the Art of Living Clutter-Free. If this episode resonated, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could use just a little bit of lightness. If you're ready for deeper support, you can work with me one-on-one or join my Lighten Up Clutter-Free Mindset Group program. You can find all the details at my website, thoughtfullycoaching.com. Until next time, progress over perfection. Messy action is better than no action at all. So let's lighten up.